I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Welcome back to the Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. My name is Ed Simia, and I'll be doing the late night coverage here from the Beaumont Curling Club in Beaumont, Alberta. If you're here for us late tonight, we've got a great matchup for you. Both of these teams are 2-0, are two of the best mixed doubles teams in the world. We have the Marie Kaldvee and Harri Lill team out of Estonia. This is your defending world silver medalists, and they'll be taking on the Jenny Perret Martin Rios team out of Switzerland, another team that is ranked in the top 20 in the world. Looks like Kaldvee and Lill got the hammer, and that's why we have Perret off the first rock of the game. If you're new to mixed doubles, I think most people know the drill now, but just in case, the ends will start with two rocks already in play, the non-hammer team with the center guard, and the hammer team with a rock touching the back of the forefoot on the center line. Teams cannot remove any rocks to play for the first three rocks of the end. Think of it as a more restricted free guard zone. First player who's throwing the first rock here, in this case looks like the women on each team, will throw the first and fifth rocks of the end, while their partner will throw rocks 2, 3, and 4. Each team throws just 5 rocks per end, and there we have a nice draw right to the top field by Marie Kaldvee. And that's why you see us going right away to the men throwing the second rocks here, Martin Rios. For the Swiss team here. Looks like looking to bump back the yellow rock on top of the forefoot. Play to take control of the top of the four, often what you'll see in mixed doubles. This or a stacking of rocks in the forefoot, especially at the high level where these teams are not making huge mistakes. You're going to see a lot of rocks in play. You're going to see a fight to the forefoot in every end. There you go. Taps that one back to the back 8. Blue sitting 2 here early in the end. We are now in the fourth rock of the end, so it is okay to start removing rocks. And I believe that's what Will is trying to do here, get to the inside of his pool, remove it from the roll under. Doesn't quite get the roll under, but still a very nice shot. Sitting on top of the forefoot. Perret and Rios looking at perhaps freezing to that back yellow. They would be counting if they did that. Instead, looks like they're going to take on what looks to be a double, could probably potentially even be a triple, get it just right. One thing to keep in mind that is, although we're way far away from that on this side, and I doubt we'll get there, but keep in mind just in terms of the strategy, even if we don't see blanks, blanks very bad for the hammer team in mixed doubles, as we lose hammer on the blank. Given the setup for mixed doubles, blanks would be very rare. Without that rule, but that just further encourages neither team to play super conservatively in the end. Looks like they're going to scoop right past that guard, get one yellow, get the second one moving, enough to probably leave blue sitting in 2 without hammer. And we'll see what Harri Lill can do on his second shot of 3 here in the first end. Looks like they're going to play a pick and roll. based on what Marie Kaldvee was pointing at with her broom. And that's what I'm assuming is the call here. Looks like it's coming in nicely. Gonna hit that over here. Not quite. Good enough to sit one, but it is open, and I suspect we'll see another attempted hit and roll here as Martin Rios heads down to the other end of the ice, looking to take his third and final shot of the game. We're still discussing exactly what they want to do here. You could have removed 2 yellow rocks if you wanted to. You could freeze, you could also be considering what weight you want to play this at. I think no matter what, they are playing something on that yellow line. It looks like they are playing a hit based on the boom. A lot of great mixed doubles action going on this weekend for us in the U.S. We have Colorado Cup out in Denver and Lafayette, being hosted by 2 great clubs out there with 30 teams, 28 of which were American teams. The top finishing American team not already qualified will get a spot in Olympic trials for the U.S. Of course, these Super Series events bring in some of the best teams in the world. Always a pleasure to watch these. We had almost a double there. Effectively, probably a double with only 2 rocks left, although that assumes that Perret makes her last shot, or else you might be able to remove both blues. For now, looks like Lill will be happy to, again, try to play this little hit and roll off the blue rock. No one's been able to make this quite right yet. We've had that blue rocks, or alternating rocks for the 2 teams, sticking out on the side of the forefoot, slowly making their way up the ice to become even a better hit and roll as we're now getting above the tee line. They're not worried about that jam, which is largely irrelevant. That blue rock in the back should not be a factor in this end. And again, while Lill was able to get a small roll, still left the rock largely in the open, and gives Perret a chance to make that hit and roll again and potentially set up steal. And I believe they'd be sitting 2 if she makes this hit, based on our overhead feed here. Final rock coming in for Jay Perret. Wants to get a hit and roll, or as an alternative to double those yellows. Gets 1 yellow out, rolls away. Now it's quite important to see who is counting. Because if yellow is counting, they can draw for 2. It looks like they're not, which means that Marie Kaldvee will take on this bit of a tricky soft hit here. That blue rock looks like it's about half covered by the center line guard that's been in. So she's got to make a soft hit and stick. Needs to basically be touching a piece of the 8-foot at the end of this shot to get 2, which would be a great start with hammer for the team out of Estonia. Kaldvee and Lill, of course, the number 1 ranked team in the world. As I said, finished 2nd at Worlds last year, winning a silver medal for Estonia, which is great. Estonia, of course, not a powerhouse in the men's or women's game, but Mixed doubles was designed to get nice matches in. I have a team that's among the best in the world in this discipline. Final rock on its way from Maria Kaldvee. She tries to make this a hit for two. And they're trying to get it past the guard. They just do. Also can't hit it straight back. Gets it by for a deuce. That'll make the score. After one end, 2-0 for team Kaldvee Lill. Perret and Rios with the hammer coming back for the second.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, what else? What do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Welcome back to the second end here at the Mixed Doubles Super Series in Beaumont, Alberta at the Beaumont Curling Club. We just saw Marie Kaldvee and Harri Lill score 2 in the first, take a 2-0 lead. Jenny Perret and Martin Rios will be looking to answer here in the second. Kaldvee starts with a draw right to that freeze, right to the shot stone in the back of the forefoot. Very common start here in mixed doubles ends. Still leaves some room for Perret to get in there as the counter if they can get it down there. Looks like it'll stop top four. Still a very good stone. When mixed doubles first came into being, there was not as much room the placed stone for the hammer team, I should say, was much closer to the button, and they moved it back just to give more scoring room when you make that first shot. So while the non-hammer team can still play that shot to the stationary stone that starts the game, it no longer covers the pin or makes the scoring area so small that it becomes very hard to play around. Harri Lill looking to set up a good angle on that blue stone in the top four. Very successful in doing so. Gets a nice angle there. About half covered. The rocks are just a few inches apart, so could still be used. Looks like Martin Rios is going to try to change that. But a small tap just to jiggle that little stone a little bit. So it could be a bit bigger, or a bit outside, depending on how they were looking to play it. They're watching it come in, trying to come down for them. I think Martin Stone's going to be just a bit deep. Might have been the weight they were looking for and just got a bit outside. Lill here, I believe, trying to take away that shot now. You can do that with a guard, which is what they're going to get here. And while it's still theoretically possible to get to that blue stone, you'd have to throw so much weight you'd just be removing your own rock, of course. So instead, Perret and Rios are going to move to the other side of the ice, look to get in before all their options are closed off, or they have to think about peeling. Sometimes people have the impression that there really are no hits or peels in mixed doubles. That's certainly not true. However, given the aggressive nature of the ends, it's often the case that teams are really only peeling out of desperation, or when they get a big lead, of course. Often when you see hits of guards that run, some sort of single raise, something like that, so they get something out of the shot. Since you have a limited number of shots per end, you only get to throw 5 times as a team, of course. Rios comes up short there on his attempt to draw on the left side of the ice, right side on the overhead. And I believe we will see Lill look to throw up a guard to prevent any sort of draw or run on that side of the ice. Really give the Kaldvee Lill team a pretty strong lock on this end. Another guard up, and it does just overlap with the blue rock from Perret Rios, which will make it much more difficult for the Swiss team here to find a way to score. Not a lot of room to get in here, and that is why you will see them play either a run or a peel here, I imagine. They are looking, if they could get rid of both of those yellow rocks on the center line, they'd be very happy. If you peel the first one, you peel the center guard, you do at least prevent the situation from getting much worse. But ideally, they're looking to get rid of both yellow rocks. Open up a chance to score here. Rocket down the ice from Martin Rios, and does get one, misses the double, does take out a blue rock at the back of the rings. That was not terribly relevant, so they're not going to be upset about that. And that leaves us with 1 rock left for each side, and we'll see Kaldvee come down and look to guard up the center, leave Jenny Perret with very few options to score in this end. Maybe you can angle on that blue rock on the left side of the long view from the view of the person delivering. But even that looks difficult. Looks like that rock is at least half covered, maybe a little more, and the angle just may not be there. If this guard is made well, it's likely that we'll see a steal of 1 for the Kaldvee Lill team here. Didn't quite get over to where they wanted to. That might have left them something to play. No, they're not going to look at playing anything in the center. It covers enough where you're almost certain to not get over the nose of that yellow rock, which means you're going to be removing your blue rock anyway if you hit the yellow. Although they are considering it because that angle run really doesn't look there either. It's also possible they could throw away here and give up 1 and move on to the third end. there certainly are no easy shots here to get a score of 1 or 2, and there are ways to unfortunately give up to. They are trying the angle. They're close to making contact. Whether or not they're close to scoring, no, she threw that a little light. That's your final rock of the end. It will be a steal of 1 for Team Kaldvee. Lill, they'll take a 3-0 lead into the third end.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back to the Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. I'm Ed Simia here from the Beaumont Curling Club in Beaumont, Alberta for some late night curling action. We just saw Marie Kaldvee throw the first rock of the third end. Kaldvee Lill up 3-0 on Perret Rios, who have the hammer here. 3-point lead is, even in mixed doubles, is significant, but much more easy to overcome than in the men's or women's game. Big ends are more common. As I said, these ends tend to be aggressive. There we saw Martin Rios, sorry it wasn't, it was Trini Perret's first shot, with the center guard, really just paper it. Come back on to the back blue rock to leave blue sitting 2. And it'll now be Harri Lill from the middle blue rocks for the Kaldvee Lill team out of Estonia. A small bump there, but gets the job done. That settles nicely into that pocket. Pretty much eliminates those back two yellow, blues, I should say, from scoring for now. Here comes the second shot of the end from Martin Rios. Looks like they want it to move. Could be a touch big here. Chips the yellow over, does release it, but it does also leave it on the back of the forefoot, which means that if Kaldvee and Lill here can put some kind of cap around it, it doesn't have to be down to it. In fact, I'm pretty sure they don't want to be right down to it. They can come to the top of the forefoot. It's going to be very difficult once again for Perret and Rios to score a multiple, and they'll start to be wondering about even scoring their single if they can't find a way to deal with those yellow pucks on the center. Safely past the center guard coming in. They want to stop at top 4, they're saying. This one might end up coming down to theirs, which is okay. It comes to the top of the button, covering the pin. And Perret and Rios are going to look to start to clean up the center, which they need to do if they want to score here. The scoring area has been shrunk to nothing, unfortunately, for them. And with that center guard there, really hard to deal with those two yellow rocks. You're not going to be able to get to them with any weight. So we're looking at a peel or a run. The run is likely the call. See if we can get at least two of these yellow rocks moving and reopen the scoring area for blue with the hammer here. Just go over the top. Gets rid of the center guard. Gets rid of the yellow rock. Oh, doesn't even get rid of the yellow rock in the back, unfortunately. Just chip the yellow rock in the back into a pretty bad position. Moves us to the back of the forefoot, which normally would not be such a problem, but it leaves backing now for the other two yellow rocks, which is going to make it even harder to get rid of these yellows that are constricting the scoring area as we move on to the end. So Harri Lill throwing his final rock of the end, his third. Looking just to clamp down on the forefoot here. Gets the guard up. However, they can still see a piece of that yellow. Perret and Rios taking a look at what they might be able to get out of a play onto that yellow rock. There is pretty good space between the guard and the one on the top of the button. However, it looks like they've settled on the run again. Makes sense. It's very difficult to deal with that yellow rock on the button with low weight. One, if you push it, you're likely pushing it at an angle, which means you're both pushing it into your blue rock and you're probably rolling it, even if you're counting at the end of that. This looks close again. Close to a nose hit. Just goes over the top of the three yellows, leaving a corner guard. And we're down to last rocks from both sides. Dangerous situation for Perret and Rios here. Down 3-0. Yellow sitting at least 2, and I think it may well be 3. Hard to say from our overhead. And Marie is going to, Marie Kaldvee, I should say, is going to put a capper on these yellows. Likely just a tight guard. And ask Jenny Perret what she can do to score here. Guard's a little high, that works fine. Got it on the right side of the center line there. You have those blue rocks on the other side of center, meaning you did not have to perfectly cover your yellow rock, you only really have to cover the outside of it. They accomplished that. And in fact, leaving it a little to the outside makes this shot a bit harder. If you're going to try to draw like a heavy draw down to that yellow on the top of the button and move it, you have to navigate the guard a little bit now. And even if you were to make that perfectly, you'd be giving up a point. It looks like Perret and Rios are considering just drawing down to the second yellow, sitting second, giving up 1 here. Big shot here, final shot of the third, and coming from Jenny Perret. Needs to stick it on the button just to count second shot here at best, I believe. This one hanging outside. They're going to need a lot of curl late. Starting to come in now. does grab a piece of the button, but I believe that's third rock. And both sides are in agreement. Yes, that's 2 more for Kaldvee Lill, who will now take a 5-0 lead after 3 ends here in Beaumont.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Welcome back for the 4th end here at the Mixed Double Super Series, presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. We're here from the Beaumont Curling Club in Beaumont, Alberta, watching the #1 ranked team in the world, Kaldvee Lill, take on Perret Rios. Kaldvee Lill up 5-0 after 3 end. Perret Rios do have the hammer here in the 4th and have elected to take the power play, moving the 2 starting rocks to the corner of the ice. On their first rock, Marie Kaldvee clipped the guard. Often what you'll see, the tick shot on the corner guard here in mixed doubles play, and rolled her shooter into the edge of the 4-foot to count. Jenny Perret puts back what is effectively a guard on their shooter there in the corner. It is biting the house. And with us still relatively early in the game, yes, they have a 5-point lead, but Kaldvee Lill look like they are going to try to just guard their counter here. Try to bring the play back to the center. No need to go super conservative here and just sit, count 2, split, and hope they hold on to the end with no guards in play. Looking to get the line right. Is coming over here at the end and, yep, largely covers their shot rock. Only showing a little piece on the outside, which I imagine is just fine for them. Perret and Rios may try to use that rock in the top 4, come down to it and try to remove it later in the end. Got to try to use all the resources they have here. Really need to score a multiple. They'd love to score 3 or more here, given the scoreboard. Even though we still have this and 4 ends more to play, really the time to get back in the game if they're going to do so. So you're going to see the team throwing the blue rocks here, taking more chances, playing some riskier shots, playing some more delicate and tricky shots, simply because they do need to get back in this game. Martin Rios' rock coming in. Does just get by that center guard. Will move the yellow rock back a bit into the back of the 4-foot. Yellow still sits 1, but that's a nice rock for blue. And blue is sitting 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which is always a dangerous situation to be in if you don't have the hammer. So Kaldvee and Lill were looking at removing a couple of rocks here. It looks like that's what they're sticking with. For a second, it looked like there might be a discussion where they might play a more aggressive shot. Given the scoreboard, it makes a lot of sense to try to remove 2 rocks here. And that's definitely the weight you'd use to remove 2 or more rocks. Gets the double. Very nice shot there for Harri Lill. Takes a lot of the big end potential away from Perret and Rios here. Perret and Rios could easily still set up a deuce. A huge end much less likely now without those 2 rocks sitting there as potential counters. And so now we'll see Martin Rios try to use that center guard, drawing around there. Looks like it might end up just a little deep, or at the very least won't come over enough. And yeah, that's going back to the very back of the 8-foot, just biting the back 8. And even though that rock is not a likely counter in this end, I believe we'll see Kaldvee and Lill choose to hit it. Again, just a scoreboard play here, right? You're up 5. You don't want the potential for a big end to be there. So let's get rid of the rock that could potentially count if we don't do anything. And the hit is made, leaving that yellow rock in the back 8. And once again, we'll see Martin Rios try to bury something behind that yellow guard. Really the only thing for them to use in this end if they want to generate a multiple. And at this level, particularly given the scoreboard, that part's obvious, down 5, you really do want to get at least 2 points, if not more, on the power play. This one looking better. Weight's down. Line looks pretty good, although can they get it by the blue at the top of the 4-foot? No, maybe just a touch late. Leaves Perret and Rios sitting second and third, which would be dangerous. It would be more dangerous if it was easy to get that yellow. There may be a shot, which is what they're pointing out. It may be possible to get to the nose of that blue, push it straight back onto the yellow. Difficult, but probably there. You can also, they're looking at the one on the center line. You can't likely use that to play into the back yellow, but you could easily rub the blue on the center line into the 4-foot for 1. Of course, you can also just draw for 1 if you're blue, if yellow doesn't throw here, we're saying. I wouldn't be surprised if Kaldvee and Lill choose to guard that potential blue run, even if it's only marginally there, because it's really the only shot for more than 1. It would be potentially a shot for 3 if it's actually there. And it looks like that's what they've set up to do. Marie Kaldvee with her final rock here in the 4th end. Looking to take away the one shot that Kaldvee and Lill are worried about here. Needs to get that guard over the hog line. Looks like she's safely over. And has, if nothing else, made that shot even more difficult. And Well, we're looking at a very creative option here, and it is an option, and it's one I should have spotted before before the last shot. Perret and Rios are looking at this very thin double. Now, most of the time you'd be unlikely to try this because the double is so thin that you have to come pretty close to missing the yellow to make this double. However, it is potentially a shot for 3, and when you're down 5, it simply may not be worth playing a shot for 1, right? We're looking to get back in the game here, and to do it, you're going to need a shot for multiple points. They are going to try. It looks like something. Oh, they're considering. Looks like they may just be playing the. I'm trying to figure out what they're throwing here, and it looks like Martin Rios is too. Looks like there may be some indecision. The last thing he signaled was for the thin and off again. They may be worried about handle, exactly what they want. Yeah, they are playing the thin and off. They wanted a sweeper. This is over curling though. Looks like it's going to hit that yellow rock a bit too thick. No, I am sorry. That was perfect. The behind the house view did not show that as well as it could. That's going to. Yeah, they are playing the thin and off. They wanted a sweeper. This is over curling though. Looks like it's going to hit that yellow rock a bit too thick. No, I am sorry. That was perfect.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Welcome back to the Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. My name is Ed Simia. I'm here with the late night coverage from the Vernon Curling Club in Vernon, British Columbia. We're coming into the fifth end with Team Kaldvee Lill with a 5-3 lead. However, if you're just joining us, you missed a pistol of a shot. Just a brilliant throw by Jenny Perret, down 5-0. Made a very thin double to take 3 and keep the team from Switzerland right in the thick of this matchup as we head to the second half. As we get into this, and let's take a look at some of the other scores around the other sheets. By the way, you can find your favorite team's games on Curling Zone's YouTube channel. Check out playlists, search for their team name at youtube.com/curlingzone. We're also streaming all sheets through Curling Stadium, and you can watch all of these games through either the Vernon Curling Club or Curling Zone YouTube channels. In other action in this draw out in Vernon, we have the team of Cotter. Looks like has already won after 4 ends, took a 6-ender in the 4th to end up winning 13-2 over Thornborough Lawrence. Armstrong and Griffith are up 3-1 over Mallet Meister after 3 ends as well. Abbas and Harsh from Germany are currently tied 2-2 with Warkchester out of Victoria, British Columbia, with the German team there having the hammer in the 4th end. Also in the 4th end, it's a 3-1 score with Trembath Grassi holding the lead over Hector Jacques. And finally, the Skaslin Nedergotten team out of Oslo, Norway, holds a 3-1 lead heading into the fourth over Matsumura and Tanita out of Japan. Back to the action on our sheet. Right now we've got Kaldvee and Lill counting 3, but they are all behind the tee line, which leaves the door open for Martin Rios here to lock something on and maybe shut down the scoring in this end. Crashes on the center guard leaves 2 centers. Normally not such an awful outcome without hammer. However, with only 2 shots left, if Kaldvee and Lill can come around to the top 4, it's gonna leave Perret and Rios with a lot of work to do to prevent a big end here, without much granite left to work with to do it. They do have those blue rocks they can run in, so there are always going to be opportunities for them to make another nice shot and shut down the end a bit. But big shot here for Harri Lill, looking to get into the top of the house behind that blue centerline guard and clamp down on the top of the 4-foot if possible. Does get by the guard and looks to have pretty nice weight here. Might be going a little bit deeper than they had hoped for, as that comes right down to the tee line. Slight bump on their rock in the back 4, but they do have something on the button under guard now, and you can't come to the nose of that and score. So Perret and Rios again looking at a little bit of a creative shot here. They could come off their outside blue, spin up off a yellow and into the 4-foot, if that's what they are looking at. You can also play right to the lid of those yellows and sit second, and certainly have a good chance of preventing a big end. You can play a run. There are a lot of options here. It looks like they're discussing them all. Makes sense. It's a big spot for them here. Down 2 even after that great shot last end. They are in the game, but with Kaldvee and Lill having hammer, need to be careful here, as it could slip out of reach very quickly. Right now yellow's sitting 4, so that's obviously a dangerous situation. Given where they've put the broom, I don't know if they're drawing through that small port or running their slightly off-centered blue rock there. Both would make sense. Although I think the draw down, the freeze, is a little better here. I think you'd want to save that blue rock for later if you could. Nope, this looks like the little run. At a very controlled weight, which makes a lot of sense. Coming in nicely, needs to curl up a little, is going to just go over the top of the 2 yellows in the 4-foot and roll away, leaving yellow sitting 4. And this is certainly now a dangerous situation for Perret and Rios. They are likely to come into their final shot of the end with Kaldvee and Lill sitting 5 and without an easy shot to sit first or second if Lill can put this rock on the top of the 4-foot, which is where they want it. Harri Lill throwing his 3rd rock, just looking to get something into the top of the 4-foot, or at least the top of the house here, making it all but impossible for Perret and Rios to play down to their rocks on the side of the button. Line looks close, actually playing it to push a little bit more. And they do get a touch of the 4-foot there. It may, if anything, have overcurled an inch or two, as there is still possibly access to that rock on the button. Looks like they briefly considered the in-off on their blue guard there on the corner of the house. I believe they opted to play the draw. Either way, Rios coming down the sweep, so I don't have a broom. Now, they've tended to do this more on the hits, so maybe they are playing the in-off. Looks like the draw. That makes a lot more sense. If you could remove both yellow rocks and maybe sit somewhere guarded, you might consider the in-off more. In this case, unfortunately, your best opportunity here is just to maybe freeze, lock something on. The good news there for Jenny Perret with that rock, that blue rock is not going anywhere. There is not going to be a 6-ender. However, the problem is that Kaldvee Lill still setting 3 with an open draw for 4, which they will take. Not going to mess with that blue rock at all, of course. Perret just needed that rock to go another 2 feet, hold its line just slightly better, and get another couple feet of weight on it. Get it down to the yellow rock on the button to at least threaten to force, which would have kept this quite an interesting game. Now, if Marie Kaldvee here makes this shot, they'll have a 6-point lead with 3 left, and it might be all but over here in Vernon. Final rock of the end now coming in for Marie Kaldvee. Already up 5-3, already sitting 3, looking to add a 4th point. Sweeping likely for line. Don't want to push that blue in. That is the only thing you really don't want to do here. Looks like they're going to get just by it. Maybe a little rub off the blue there. That makes it a score of 4, which makes it 9-3 for Kaldvee Lill. The teams are shaking. That's going to be it after 5 ends. That was Marie Kaldvee and Harri Lill winning over Jenny Perret and Martin Rios. Thanks again for watching. This was the Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon at the Vernon Curling Club in Vernon, British Columbia. Again, your final is going to be Kaldvee Lill 9, Perret Rios 3. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good night.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.